Welcome to PDGA coverage of the 2021 AM Worlds. Coming to you from the Orlando, Florida area. And brought to you by Fox Hills. It's Grant Zellner and Jennifer Allen. And we are at Lake Hiawatha, the long course with Mike Mathis in the lead at 30 down. Trevor Toenjes at 25 down. Sam Gibson and John Borelli round out this lead card. MA50, round number 6. So getting toward the end of this Worlds tournament.
On day 4. First on the tee from Duncan, South Carolina, Mike Mathis.
Looks like another hot, muggy day here in Florida.
It is indeed.
We're at hole 1. It's 268 feet, par 3. They definitely are going to have to hit a gap through this to get to the basket.
This Mike Mathis on the tee.
Team second from Clearwater, Florida, Trevor T.
That's going to give him a look at birdie putt to start the round.
Trevor Toenjes up next.
Beautiful shot. These guys are doing a nice job. 268 feet isn't super long, but it's still quite a ways down there with such a low ceiling. You want to get the distance, but still keep the disc low the whole time, and they're doing a great job so far.
Here's Sam Gibson. That's a theme that we'll see all day, Jennifer. The low ceiling and the nature of these gaps. A little wider than some of the other courses we've seen during this Florida run, but still noteworthy. This course kind of a blend of being both wooded and a bit open. As John Borelli tees off.
Good luck, gentlemen. Have fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a solid attempt from Sam.
Nice.
That's a great way to start the round.
That on film. Might be the only one I get.
So momentarily, Mike extends his lead. But not for long.
Hole 2, 561 feet. It's a par 4, our first par 4 of the round. Again, they're going to have to hit this tunnel with a nice low shot and get quite a bit further down the fairway.
It's just a beauty for Mike. Half the holes on this course are par 3, and half the holes are par 4 or 5. So, for the first time, a number of par 4s and 5s today. It's a solid tee shot from Trevor.
Yeah, and I'm assuming they're just trying to get up there into that sunny area. Is probably a great landing zone for their next shot to the basket.
Sammy with a nice kick off the tree. This course measures out at just over 8,200 feet as it's configured today. So these guys I'll do a lot of walking today. Sammy with a distant circle
Getting
two
closer
for his birdie.
Yeah.
One of the things, Jen, I noticed about this course is you're rarely out of it if you don't throw a good tee shot. You've got recovery opportunities for the most part on most of these holes.
Yeah, that's the good things about wooded courses like this. There's a lot of trees, but there's some very good gaps that if you miss the line, hopefully there's a new line that you can find to keep progressing up the fairway.
So Mike also catches an early tree there, so he'll have a very distant look. Trevor's looking to capitalize. Just
Ooh,
that
so
far from
close.
birdie. Oh, Trevor squanders the opportunity to pick a stroke up on the card.
And everyone taps in for the par. We are headed to hole 3, 809 feet, par 5.
Difficult to see without the benefit of a flyover. This hole sort of starts quite tight, moves into a bit more of an open area, and then finishes back in sort of a guarded area. So lots to navigate here.
Yeah, this is one of those times you probably want to do a slow speed disc, maybe even just a mid-range to keep on this open area as long as possible at a hole at this distance.
Yeah, with Eagle being essentially, I'm never going to say impossible, but it would require something of a throw-in.
Or a roller, a great roller on this hole maybe.
Wanting to make sure you keep birdie in play as long as possible.
That's unfortunate. This grass is so thick.
Sammy going for the roller here,
throws.
and here's that open area I mentioned a moment ago.
Yeah, and it just depends on how thick and wet that grass is, if that was going to work or not. That looks like a nice, clean shot. Hopefully he won't be nudged up too close to that tree. And that's where just these low branches really make you kind of worry about getting the disc up too high, and you overcompensate and don't get enough in the air. Another roller here. And this definitely, to me, I don't throw rollers, but this seems like a smart way to get up the fairway as long as possible, especially when they're getting back into a no grass area like this.
I actually expected to see more rollers on the day.
We would have from
no doubt
our
about
previous card.
One of those other cards that we provided coverage of here at AM Worlds were throwing rollers every opportunity they could get.
And that's such a scary shot, so you don't want to hit your hand. This is
Oh.
hole 3, and it works out great. Oh, stop. Oh. That's going to give him a good look, though. And everyone's trying to just get up to the basket. Little tap in. We've got a great look right here.
Ooh.
Probably circles
At
edge.
809 feet, this hole definitely playing true to par for our MA50 crew here.
I'm loving this course so far from what we've seen. Probably a little bit more than the other ones. It's very challenging, a lot of placement shots, and that's what golf
Yeah,
is
not
about.
quite as tight as some of the other wooded courses that our AM field in particular faced here during the course of this Amateur World Championships in Orlando.
Nice. Well played, Mike.
Very nice.
It's a great putt. This is why this man is in the lead. Okay, we're to hole 4. A little bit shorter, 289 feet. It's a par 5 still.
It is a par 3, to be certain.
That's what I was thinking.
What a wonderful tee shot there from Mike. Has his choice of which gap to play, chooses to go up the right side and sort of hyzer skip back into the basket location.
Yeah, that was great touch and speed control on not skipping too far. This is another nice line to get to the
Showing the other
basket,
option.
which he does.
2 replays in a row, Jen.
This card is starting off great. No pressure on the rest of the crew, right? We need that to come back. But he gets up the fairway. I'm sure that's pin
Looks like
high.
he'll have an open look at least from there.
Mm-hmm. Going with a soft layup touch for the tap in 3.
Oh, Sammy.
Oh,
Do you mind if I tap out?
Go ahead.
that's one of those you maybe rush just a little too much. You know, everyone else is already just tapping in for their birdies right there at the basket. Got to
Yeah, that's
take your
always
time
hard
for
when you
sure.
go from being away to still being away. Every time I have to play 2 shots in a row, I always feel a little rushed on that second shot.
A little rushed. Mm-hmm. All right, we're to hole 5, 540 feet. Now this is a par 4.
Once again, a very low ceiling.
And he gets tangled up there on that right-hand side. Again, another placement shot. We want to just be open for that next shot up to the basket.
Sam with a lot of distance. Hopefully
That'll
he'll
make
have
Yeah, that next
good footing.
next shot might be a little harder, yeah. And sticky. With all this humidity here. Whew. It's a great approach. And that's another great upshot in there to give him a look. We are scrambling
Sam, that
here.
shot was just incredible.
Oh, and it did not roll too far, so hopefully he'll be able to convert on that putt. And just a nice simple upshot, slide it up there to the basket. That was taking his time. What a recovery.
Goes bogey birdie. Always feels good. All right, the card goes 3 down on the hole.
All right, hole number 6, 540 feet, another par 4. A lot of these holes, like Grant said, are very similar, so hopefully they'll get on a roll of what they need to do when they release the disc.
Similar, this hole plays to the exact same distance as hole 5 did. Obviously a different challenge.
Yeah, that's nice though. When you're the holes are kind of all the same, you get into a rhythm and you get those release angles and the height of the disc dialed in a little bit better.
Catches a late tree, but gets most of the distance off of his tee shot. That was Mike, by the way. Here's Sam.
There goes Sam.
And that was such a great angle. Sneaks around the right side. Hopefully he's going to have a good look for the next shot. That looks like it came out of his hands a little late. We're going to hope that it just sneaks through as far as possible. You know, sometimes you get off the beaten path and you have a bigger hole.
Mike just inches away from threading that needle. Both John and Trevor in tight. Here's Sam to join his mates.
Looks a little low, but that dead grass in the trees helps that slide all the way up there. And he takes a hard route through and punches all the way to give him a look.
Big par save.
That's how you play the hole. I mean, you can't stress about a bad shot here or there. It's just capitalizing on the next one. And he did a great job to save his par.
Blue collar par.
Such a solid putt. Used his legs, got just a little bit too much on it. And that's another birdie to kind of make you start feeling better for that one little miss up.
Trevor with 3 birdies in a row. Nice little turkey, beginning to put some pressure on Mike Mathis, our leader.
All right, we're to hole number 7, 492 feet, another par 4. Looks like this hole has a decision to be made going left or right around that first area to the open gap.
This hole kind of looks like it's a dog leg to the left. It's really not. The fairway just sort of jogs left briefly and then continues relatively straight from the tee.
Yeah, and sometimes it's what side of the fairway do you want on for that next shot. On this par fours, you really have to use your head and kind of think about it, knowing the course really comes into play here.
You definitely have to have a tee shot that's moving to the left, and you can kind of see why right here.
Another scary throw where you don't want to hit your hand, and it makes you just kind of tense up, hold on to it, and the release timing gets off a little bit when you're that close to a tree.
Yeah, when I'm playing
nice,
casual
clean
rounds,
approach.
I never risk, smashing a hand on a tree.
Yeah, it's
ever.
Absolutely not. And it's not important. I do the same thing in any kind of practice round. There's no reason to risk that one little moment of hurting yourself when it's not for tournament play.
Not surprised to see Sam be the first on the card to break out the forehand roller. Didn't quite work out for him. Now John is in tight.
Oh, hung on my finger there.
Oh, that's unfortunate. He's just trying to get up there to save par.
Wow.
Wow, what a great save. This is back-to-back great par saves from Mike.
That's three.
Just keeping Trevor at bay for the time being.
Till the last part, then not so much.
We're going to tap in for a few pars here. All right, we're hole 8, 585 feet, another par 4. They are really making these guys work for it.
One of the more open holes that we've seen so far during this front nine.
They're all definitely going to get a little bit more air under the disc than they have been able to this whole round. Gets tangled up a little bit.
That'll make that approach shot pretty difficult.
Here's a nice straight shot from Mike.
Yeah, John had more than 400 feet to reach the basket after that deflection off the tee, so playing for par.
Yeah, we needed that to fight through. So close to getting up there.
That actually took off exactly what you needed, man. That was pretty high.
Trevor managed to punch through that same tree branch that hung Mike up.
Yeah, and he looks like he almost hits a thicker area. You just never know when you're going into one of those trees. They're definitely grabby trees.
Sam safely to about 27 feet.
Couple of great approaches in there to the basket. They're not, you don't want to give yourself more than a 15-footer when you're just
Unless
trying
you're
to
Mike,
lay up.
apparently.
Unless you're Mike, but that's a great birdie right here.
Trevor with an impressive drop-in birdie.
I haven't noticed Trevor's caddy the whole time. I don't know if Greg just snuck up here, but he has a wonderful caddy that came up with a lot of knowledge. I don't know if anyone else noticed that. We're at hole number 9. We're going to round off our front 9 at 736 feet, another par 4. And again, another shot they can air out and just really punch up there for this one.
Much longer par 4 than the others we've seen thus far today. Oh, that'll hurt. John just getting about 75 feet off the tee. Mike with the same.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to get out there to save par on this hole because someone's going to get a birdie.
Looks like a forehand roller was Mike's only option.
And it's not a bad one. I mean, he has a lot of ground to make up to get up there. It's a great low flight with long distance shot. And we're going another roller. Looks like the angle wasn't the greatest. I don't know if this is going to stand up for him. He laid that down a little bit too flat.
This just Trevor's second.
And that's going to
Very
give him
well
a great
played.
look for
real
birdie.
Opportunity to pick up multiple strokes on his card mates.
So I'm going to be mean to you, Grant. Do you know, trivia question, who Trevor's caddy just stepped up as? Hall of Famer, world champion from the area, local Florida.
No, I don't know.
Ah, he's a wonderful man. He was actually at Masters Worlds with us when I ran into you this last year. It's Greg Hosfeld from Florida.
I've met him.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. So much knowledge of the
I've met
Frisbee.
him. I did not realize he was joining us in a manner of speaking. Yeah.
He snuck up there in the background. Yeah, he snuck in there. He probably just walking out and watching some wonderful golf. He's definitely not participating in this event.
So Trevor's par still picks up a stroke on Mike, and that 5-stroke lead down to only 2 through the opening half of this 6th round. Our MA50 card will be back with back 9 action. Jen and I will join you soon here at the PDGA channel on YouTube.